Jake Harris had been a truck driver for over 20 years, navigating the highways and byways of the country. He thought he had seen it all until one foggy October night changed his life forever. Jake was hauling a load through a remote stretch of highway known for its desolation and eerie silence. The fog was thick, making it hard to see more than a few feet in front of him. He had always heard rumors about this road, stories of strange happenings and ghostly encounters, but he had never paid much attention. He was a practical man, not easily swayed by tales of the supernatural. As he drove through the dense fog, Jake noticed a figure on the side of the road, barely visible through the haze. It was a woman, standing alone with her thumb out, signaling for a ride. Jake slowed down and pulled over, rolling down his window to get a better look at her. She was young, with long, dark hair and pale skin, wearing a tattered white dress that looked like it had seen better days. "I need a lift," Jake called out. The woman nodded, her eyes filled with a sorrowful expression. "Please, I need to get home," she said in a soft, almost whispery voice. Jake opened the passenger door, and she climbed in. As she settled into the seat, Jake felt a chill run down his spine. Something about her presence was unsettling, but he pushed the feeling aside and started driving again. "Where are you headed?" Jake asked, trying to make conversation. "Just up ahead," she replied, pointing vaguely down the road. "I'll tell you where to turn." They drove in silence for a while, the fog growing even thicker. Jake kept glancing at his passenger, feeling increasingly uneasy. Her gaze was fixed on the road ahead, her hands clasped tightly in her lap. Suddenly, the woman spoke. "Turn here," she said, pointing to a narrow, overgrown path, barely visible through the fog. Jake hesitated. "Are you sure? This doesn't look like a road." "Trust me," she insisted. "It's the way home." Reluctantly, Jake turned onto the path. The truck's headlights barely pierced the darkness, illuminating twisted trees and creeping vines that seemed to close in around them. The sense of dread grew stronger with each passing moment. After what felt like an eternity, they reached a clearing. In the middle stood an old, decrepit house, its windows dark and broken, the roof sagging under the weight of years of neglect. The woman turned to Jake, her eyes now filled with a strange intensity. "Thank you for bringing me home," she said, her voice taking on an otherworldly echo. "I can rest now." Before Jake could respond, she opened the door and stepped out. As soon as her feet touched the ground, she vanished into thin air. Jake's heart raced as he stared at the spot where she had been standing, trying to comprehend what had just happened. Desperate to escape, Jake shifted the truck into reverse and sped back down the path. When he finally reached the main road, the fog began to lift, and the night's eerie silence returned to normal. Jake never spoke of the encounter to anyone, but he avoided that stretch of highway from then on. The haunted look in the woman's eyes, her ghostly presence, and the dilapidated house in the woods were memories that would haunt him for the rest of his days.